All right, everyone, from the geniuses of the far left media groups, it's blaming Sanders preemptively for their 2020 loss. Yes, you heard it right. Link in the description. Uh, they're already setting the stage to do to Sanders what they did in 2016, which is if the Democrats lose, and I think they probably will, the direction they're going is a downward spiral. They're destroying themselves as a political movement. They don't even realize it. They think that they're winning. The worst thing, the most sad part is that they think they're winning and they're losing. It's like watching someone who's very troubled running the wrong way in a race, and they think that they're out in front, and really the reason they're seeing nobody is everyone else has gone in the other proper direction. And it's just really weird and cringy. But they're already setting the stage to say that Sanders is responsible for this. By getting into the race, he's dragged everyone to the left, and if they become unelectable, it's his fault. It's not his fault. He's been very forthcoming about his far-left socialistic beliefs since the 1970s. The Democrats knew this. They've accepted his entry into the Democratic Party, officially speaking, so that he could run. Which is something that at first I figured maybe he wouldn't do. I'm like, well, he's so old that he can't possibly think he's going to win. He can't possibly think he would beat Trump at this point. He's going to be like, 80 on election day. So he'll probably not get in. I was wrong on that. That's the one thing that I've been most wrong about so far in the political race is my initial calculation that Sanders would probably sit it out. I was right about Clinton sitting it out, though. Some people are still thinking she'll get in. I don't think so. I don't think she wants to do that. I don't think her allies in the DNC want her to do that at this point. My goodness. It'd be funny because she'd probably have 10-15% support right off the bat. Yeah, she'd probably be one of the front running. She'd bump Buttigieg out for fifth or something like that. She might even rise up to the Harris sort of level. Be a third wheel candidate. She could be viable. Oh man, that would be funny. I hope that she gets in, but it's not going to happen. It's too late in the race. Like Stayer's getting in because he can self-fund. He doesn't need any handouts and donations, so he doesn't give a fuck. And Swalwell got out and he's like, well, 20 is a round number. But then Gravel qualified. We'll see if they let him on the debate stage. If they do, he's going to destroy the Democratic Party. He's way further left than... No, Gravel is the reason they would lose. He's the one who would drag him to the left. He'd come out and say, well, universal health care isn't enough. We need universal mandatory health coverage. And we need to pay for it for citizens of other countries, too. Let's pay for the whole world's health care. And he'd say it's not enough that some of you don't want to bomb other countries. We need to pay reparations for the ones we already bombed. He would probably do that. He's like almost a commie. And by the way, Mike Gravel's official Twitter handle follows me. There's a reason for that. I've been a supporter of Gravel since the mid-2000s. At least he's stuck to his guns and isn't a fucking sellout. I don't agree with him on many things, but not a sellout. And he's also not pro-censorship, so, I can get on board with that at least. At least he's totally anti-war. It's funny because there's a video on there, it's like about ending the drug war, and it shows this, I guess, insect or something, slowly hallucinating more and more and talking about how addiction is a public health crisis, not a crime. I agree, by the way. He's been consistent on that, too. As a stoner liberal back in my early college, late high school days, I liked Mike Gravel specifically because he was definitely the furthest left on that issue, and he was the most anti-war. But the Democrats are blaming Sanders. Here's what they don't want. The neoliberals don't want to lose the election and have to blame the fact that they crowbarred a milquetoast neolib like a Biden into the position and coronated them. I'm just thinking, coronating Hillary Clinton was a mistake. She was a weak candidate. Biden is weaker. Biden is less well-spoken, more given over to problems, and we're only halfway into the primaries, really, and he's already showing signs of his age. Hillary Clinton at least waited until a little bit later to have her September 11th coughing fit and stuff like that and collapsing into the van. She had health problems, but, she was 70 and running. Biden is 75 and running. Mike Gravel, by the way, I think he's almost 90. And yet he looks healthier than Biden and definitely more mentally aware. Definitely more healthy and mentally aware than Sanders. Probably campaign harder. He's doing Twitch streaming and stuff like that. He's doing the same thing he did 10 years ago, which is running basically an internet-only style campaign. Maybe I should get in touch and see if I can have Mike Gravel call in on a hangout or something. Pick his brain about some things. I want to get a definitive answer on tech censorship from him, among other things. Making it clear, of course, I'm tacitly a Trump supporter, but, I'm not a Republican, so... I think I voted for Gravel in the primaries, actually, back in that election. I'm pretty sure I think I did. I think I did vote in the primaries. I can't remember. I mean, it was a while ago. And I was kind of high in those days, so I don't remember, everything about college. I don't remember 2008 as well as I might have. A little bit of a problem. They're already blaming Sanders, though. This geriatric socialist, he popularized the fact that the Democrats were tolerant of socialism, and matchups show that Trump beats anyone who labels themselves a socialist. It's Bernie Sanders' fault. Well, you didn't have to let him in the party. You didn't have to let him join you and run again. You didn't. And the thing is, they're going to screw him in the ass again, too. They're using Bernie Sanders as a prop, and it's backfired already. It's spawned, people even further left than that. So, I mean, some people that would have otherwise been maybe viable, I think 4 years ago I said Elizabeth Warren in the future might be viable if she can straddle the line between the left and the right. She was setting herself up to be the missing link. In this election, though, being the missing link sane candidate to pull the party together didn't work. So she decided, well, I'm just going to be really, really far left to get the most attention, and that'll get me nominated. The problem is Kamala and Sanders have done the same thing, so it's a three-way tie for second. Biden's the only one who didn't take the bait. He's the front runner. He'll probably remain the front runner, and he'll probably be nominated. And Trump will probably destroy him. I think Trump will beat any of these top 5 people, including Buttigieg, who's he'd be 40 at the time. He'd be a bit on the young side, but he's well-spoken. He can debate well. But, I mean, he still doesn't have quite as much name recognition. He just can't crack through into the double digits. There's a ceiling preventing him from doing that because everyone else has gone so far out there. They've built their core fan bases. There's not enough votes left for him to succeed unless the race thins. And I don't see that happening. What would have to happen is the bottom half would have to drop out, booing him to 10 or something like that. And even then, just as much support would go to the others, so it wouldn't be like he's, again, tied for second. He'd still be a distant third-place candidate. So Gravel might be in. The Democrats are trying to blame Sanders already in case they lose. I think they're more nervous than they let on. They're like, well, Trump is evil, Trump is despicable. Where's your platform? I mean, some of these people, they mention the New Green Deal, or they mention wanting to decriminalize border crossings. That's pretty much all I see from these people. We want to give you more taxes to pay for free shit, and we want to legalize illegalization. We want to have a topsy-turvy, weird country that doesn't work properly. That's what the Democrats want. That's about all. Peace out.